Now you may ask yourself, does anyone really need 22 radios in one vehicle? We think you do, so we did it. I'm Tony, and this is our brand new next-gen Ranger Wildtrak. We were looking for a new vehicle for the GME fleet, and we decided the next-gen Ranger was the perfect fit for what we wanted to do with it. We've partnered up with some of the best brands in the industry, and we've built what I reckon is a pretty cool touring vehicle. Now, starting at the front of the car, we've gone with an ARB Summit Mark II bull bar. Personally, I reckon this really suits the look of the next-gen Ranger, and the best part is it retains all your factory sensors, so you get that factory car functionality while still having that frontal protection, because as we all know, there's plenty of bouncy things in Australia that love jumping out in front of your car. Now, in order to see those bouncy things with a little bit more notice, we've gone with some Stedi Type X Evo 8.5-inch driving lights. We've chosen them with the spot beam, and we've also put these cool little red surrounds on them to really tie it in with the GME theme. I've done a fair bit of driving in this car already, and these lights are amazing. Now, of course, no bull bar would look the part without a couple of GME whips on it. For this build, we've gone with something slightly different to our normal antenna selection. We've gone with our 3700 series antennas. So we've got the AE 3700, which is our UHF antenna, and then we've got the matching cellular antenna, the AT 3700, which is plugged into a Cell-Fi Roam R41 in the car to give us that boosted cell signal when we're out in remote or regional areas. These are a slightly lower duty antenna than the big AE 4700s you may be familiar with, but as this car is going to spend the majority of its life on the blacktop touring Australia, we think this is the perfect choice for this particular vehicle. Now, moving to the inside of the vehicle, if you've seen inside one of these next-gen Wildtraks, you'll know that the interior is pretty nice from factory. So we didn't need to change too much. However, everything must be modified at all times. So we've made a couple of changes. Connected to our AE 3700 antenna, we're running with our XRS 330C radio, but we've modified that too. We've thrown the magnetic microphone mount on the back of the radio. We're also using a TLR Products center console mount because there's pretty much nowhere to mount a microphone in one of these next-gen Rangers. We've also got the TLR extinguisher mount, which sits under the passenger seat for a fire extinguisher, and you'll see why we need a fire extinguisher in this car in a little bit. And we've got a Lightforce switch panel, which is a factory replacement. We've got all our switches in there for our lighting, nice and neat on the top of the center console. Now, for the last two interior mods, as I mentioned, we're running a Cell-Fi Roam R41 cell booster, and we're also running an EVC-X throttle controller from Ultimate 9, which just gives us the ability to control the throttle input on the vehicle. When you're performing modifications to your four-wheel drive and adding a lot more weight, it's really important to consider your suspension setup. We've gone with a full Tough Dog 2-inch lift kit running their foam cell shocks. It's a 60mm casing and a 40mm bore on these shocks, so they're a pretty serious shock to handle the extra weight. We've obviously spec'd the springs in the front to suit the 2-inch lift, but also the steel bull bar and the fact that it's a diesel engine. And in the rear, we're running a 500 kilo constant load leaf spring because we've added the tray, canopy, and a fair bit of GME gear in the back. Now, when it came to wheels and tires, we've gone with an ROH Crawler 17x9 plus 25 offset. I think they give the car a really awesome stance, and we've paired them up with a set of Mickey Thompson Baja Boss ATs in a 285/70/17. Really good wheel and tire package, suits the car perfectly. Now, when it came to a tray and canopy package, there was only one option for us. MITS Alloy have given us an Evo 2 tray with their 1500mm canopy and what Timmy and Az at MITS refer to as the trio of dips, which is what sits on the back here, being the jerry can holder, the optional ladder, and the spare wheel carrier. I think this really sets the vehicle off. It looks amazing, and the best part is it gives us lots of room for activities in the back. Now, finishing off the tray and canopy package, we've gone with the color-coded toolboxes under the rear of the tray. We've got a full-length roof rack up top, housing a 180-watt solar panel, and we're also running Stedi Black Edition C4 LED cube lights on the rear of the canopy. These are in a flood beam, so they're handy as additional reversing lights or as area lights if we're outside at night. So moving into the back of the canopy is where things get a little interesting. There's a pretty serious power package in here. It's called the REDARC Ultimate Package through MITS Alloy. Starting with an Alpha 150 lithium battery, we're running the Alpha 50 BCDC charger, an RS3 2000 watt inverter, and controlling the whole system is the REDARC Rogue TVMS with a Red Vision display. As I mentioned, we've got a pretty big solar panel up top which will keep the system charged when the vehicle's waiting to go out on its next job. And of course, the reason that we've gone with all of this power equipment is because we're running quite a few radios in the back. Now, before we get into the radio gear, it's worth pointing out that when your team's traveling the country, going to shows, it's very important to keep them well hydrated. So we've gone with a Dometic 80-litre upright fridge so that there's always cold beers available for the team at the end of a long day. Now, we went and saw my good friend Rowan and the team at Loaded Drawers with a little bit of an unusual brief. I basically said, we want to stuff more radios into this vehicle than any other car in Australia. And that is a challenge to you. So if you know anyone that you reckon has more comms gear than this thing in their car, we'd love to see it. Suffice to say, Rowan and the team have absolutely knocked this build out of the park. The whole concept of this vehicle is that we've got the full range of GME radios and emergency beacons on display so that when we're at trade shows or at new store openings, you guys can come down and check out the full range, powered up, touch and try them and decide what the best product is for you. As I mentioned, we've got the full range of UHF CB radios on one side of the vehicle, so we've got all of our handheld and fixed mount options for you guys to check out. And on the other side of the vehicle, we've got our marine range, all of our emergency beacons, VHF marine radios, and our entertainment products. So if you see the GME Ranger at a show or out and about, feel free to stop by, check out the full range of products, and have a chat to the team. In the meantime, if you've got any questions about the build or any of the mods that we've covered in this video, feel free to drop a comment below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and we'll see you in the next video.